Stroud quiets the naysayers at Minicamp.
That would be so.
Yes, CJ, I do. Welcome to the Texans Happy Hour, sponsored by. I love saying that. Y'all got to give me a second. Hey, Alexis, y'all got to give me a second. Welcome to the Texas Happy Hour, sponsored by the Hall Family Estates. Make sure you go to www.hallfamilyestates.com for all of your winery needs. I learned winery. That's what it is. It is a winery. Special shout out to our sponsor, Hall Family Estates, for sponsoring the Texans Happy Hour. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you subscribe to the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast, available wherever you get your podcast from, and Texans Tailgate Talk YouTube channel, all one word. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end, because you know we do everything for the gram. And on tonight, which is, what is today? Today's Tuesday. So on Tuesday night, I want to make sure that I got this right. Y'all give me 1 second. I gotta fumble through the rigmarole because I want to make sure that I got this thing down pat to the All right. So tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time, I will be on the Texans on 3 podcast. 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be on the Texans on 3 podcast. And I want to make sure that I got that name right because I watch them guys. I watch them weekly. They have some good guys over there. They got some guys who really know what they're talking about as far as football is concerned. They got some good guys over there that just know about the culture, period. I got to give a special shout out to my boy Killer Cow, man, because, you know, Killer Cow been down with me. What's up, Queena? 5:30. I was on time. Killer Cow has been supporting me since I was on in the trenches with Indy Kalu over at that radio station. Killer Cow has always been a supporter of me. And then when Indy decided to walk away from the show, and I did as well, he still supported me. So, I really do have a lot of respect for Killer Cow. I haven't met the other two gentlemen, Patton, and I can't think of the other young man's name. I haven't gotten a chance to meet them in person, but I have met Killer Cow in person, and he is a very, very, very good guy. So I appreciate them having me on at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesday night. And if you don't get a chance to watch it live, run it back. That's good. Speaking of running backs, hey, there was a Nick Chubb sighting at the Houston Texans minicamp today. Got a chance to see him out there, to physically lay eyes on him, and got an opportunity to speak with a couple of people about. Oh shoot, I forgot to do this. I got a chance to speak to a couple of people. Had an opportunity to speak to a couple of people about Nick Chubb, and there was nothing but high praise about Nick Chubb. Why didn't I do this? There was nothing but high praise about Nick Chubb, and I don't have this queued up because I had to do a lot of things to prepare just to be able to be on here. But let me see if I can pull this thing. Y'all give me 1 second. I gotta look at the to find out exactly where it is, because we got some things that we definitely need to talk about, but I don't want to leave you guys out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4. Let's go here. Video file. I'm going to open that up. Let's see if we can.
He's doing everything. All right. Yeah.
Injury and with the
first and foremost with their him, making sure we're doing. And so that's why the decision was made about CJ. I think you guys saw him out. And the injury history, we understand. I think he looked pretty fine to me.
So this is the question that you're about to hear is myself asking Houston Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans, did the injury history. Let me make sure that I got the question just right. Give me 1 second. So I asked DeMeco Ryans, was there any injury concerns about running back Nick Chubb? Is there any concern about the last 2 years he's had with the knee injury and with the broken foot he sustained 6 months ago?
With the Nick and the injury history, we understand his history, but we don't dwell on that. We're giving him an opportunity, and we'll see how it turns out for us here in Houston. One thing I can say from a guy who's come back from injury, it's just about the work you put in. You're really not the same, like a few months out after injury. It takes time to get back when you can work out and not be worried about rehabbing and working out. Sometimes when you're rehabbing, you're just getting yourself to the starting line and you're not really ready to win the race. So I think when you take the time to recover and you can truly work out and put the work in and dedicate to your craft on playing the position really well, that's what helps you to have a good year that following year. And I think Nick has put himself in position to do that.
And so that's one of the things that I wanted to I definitely want to ask Coach about. That's one of the things that I want to ask Coach about. What did the injury history come into play at any point in time with them signing Nick Chubb? Because I think that's that's an interesting, that's something that stands out, something that you have to ask. And so when you heard his answer right there, I like the answer that he gave. And like I said, there's a lot of people who had a lot of good things to say about Nick Chubb. What I've said right here on this show was, if you can get 75% of Nick Chubb from 2022, then that's a win. I said that on numerous occasions. I also said that what Nick Chubb can bring to that running backs room, especially in mentoring a younger running back who looks a lot like himself in rookie running back Woody Marks out of USC. If you can get him in there to mentor, Woody Marks, you got it, right? You got it. So, like I said, I got an opportunity to see. He went through some drills, but he really didn't participate in the 7-on-7 or the team drills, the 11-on-11s. Maybe we'll not get an opportunity to see that tomorrow, or maybe they won't show us until training camp, but we'll get a chance. We'll get an opportunity to see. On Wednesday, we'll have an opportunity to speak with Nick Chubb. He will be at the podium talking to us, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get asked that question a lot. I know that I'll probably ask him the same question that I asked DeMeco, just to see where his mind is, just to see where his mindset is, just to see how the rehab went, just to see where he is right now. But Queena brought up something real quickly, right? And this is what I want to talk. She says that she likes DeMeco's statement about CJ.
He was adamant about going out. Oh, CJ threw today, right?
Let me bring that back one more time.
See how far he gets, come back training camp, ready to go.
All right, so let me go to the transcript right quick, you all. So the question was, he was asked about how did CJ Stroud look throwing at practice today? And here's his answer.
Oh, CJ threw today, right? All right, yeah.
Right there. Hey, look, let me tell you something about let me tell you something about DeMeco. DeMeco has that natural blend of street sense and common sense and book sense. Like he has all of that. And so everything that he does is calculated, but it's also funny, because I've talked to Coach on numerous occasions. I've talked to Coach on numerous occasions off the record. And one thing that he always brings up is, and I've said this, and I've shared this story with you all before, but I'll share it again. So he's from Bessemer, Alabama, right? Bessemer, right? And so when he got hired, they had the media inside of the team dining facility. And so we were eating, waiting on the press conference to start. So D'Amico walks in, it's him, Nick, the McNairs, they walk in. And so, of course, everybody flocks over to meet D'Amico, right? Everybody flocks over to meet D'Amico. And, everybody's meeting him, this, that, and the other. So when it's my turn to talk to him, I said, Coach, got a question for you. He said, what's up? I said, who's more famous in Bessemer, Alabama, in your hometown? Who's more famous, you or Gucci Mane? And he bust out laughing. Matter of fact, his wife was there too. She said, oh, it's Gucci for sure. And then Coach started laughing, and Coach was like, yeah, I gotta give you. Yeah, Gucci's way more famous than I am. And then he said, man, you took the time to research that? I said, yeah, I know you from there, Jameis Winston from there, Bo Jackson is from there, and Gucci is from there. And ever since then, that was the connection Coach and I made. And so when Coach and I have these different types of conversations, I talk to Coach a lot off the record as well. He's one of the most down-to-earth people that you ever want to meet. He always gonna shoot it to you straight. He ain't gonna sugarcoat it, no way, no how. But he also wants you to not sugarcoat it with him. And so, when you're talking to him, when he's in these press conferences, I'll be laughing. He catches me laughing sometimes because I know exactly, pretty much exactly what he's thinking and what he's doing. I'm like, I can see it. And plus, so I'm older too. So, I pick up on these old school. D'Amico got a lot of old school traits and a lot of old school ways. So I'm saying that to say this. Hold on.
Oh, CJ threw today, right? All right.
Now he's looking directly at me. So I'm cracking up right now. Like I'm cracking up and I can't hide it. I'm laughing. So I think if you look at the video that I had, I don't think I put that video out, but on my video, you make it hear me laughing, but I'm laughing. That's why he's looking at me and I'm looking at him because we know.
Just the CJ's a competitor, and last week CJ, he was adamant about going out and practicing. It just shows the type of person that CJ is. But for me, as a head coach, it's important for me to just make sure we're protecting him, making sure we're doing what's best for CJ, and not really worried about the outside opinions or other people. Nobody knows the information about our players more than me. And so I'm going to make sure I always do what's in the best interest of our players, first and foremost with their health and wellness.
Y'all give me 1 second. I want to bring this back, and then I want us to talk about it. And y'all know, look, this is the Texans Happy Hour, sponsored by the Hall Family Estates. Make sure you go to www.hallfamilyestates.com for all your winery needs. We got a sponsor, but y'all know on the Happy Hour, this is the type of stuff we do right here on the Happy Hour is we break things down. We stop. We create our own format here at the Happy Hour. I want you to listen to something.
Out and practicing, it just shows the type of person that CJ is. But for me, as a head coach, it's important for me to just make sure we're protecting him, making sure we're doing what's best for CJ, and not really worried about the outside opinions or other people. Nobody knows the information about our players more than me.
Right there. You hear what he says, right? You heard what he said. He ain't worried about what the outside naysayers outside people have to say. He's not worried about nothing that goes, and he's telling you the truth. He don't care about none of that other outside noise. And you heard what he said. Nobody knows my players, or nobody has the type of information more than me. And so when all of these rumors started to fly around about the reason why CJ Stroud wasn't throwing at voluntary OTAs, and then he came out and he said, he has general soreness, right? He said he has general soreness. And then everybody wants to rip him for that, saying that, why did it take him so long to tell us that he had soreness, and why this and why that? And then when he got the question about did CJ have off-season shoulder surgery, and what did he say? Hey man, I'm not taking no more questions because I gave y'all the answer. Now I may not have given it to you in the time the manner in which you wanted it, or in the time frame in which you wanted it, but I don't have to because I'm the coach. I'm the coach. And so I love what he said right there.
And so I'm going to make sure I always do what's in the best interest of our players, first and foremost with their health and wellness. That's always on the forefront of my mind. And so that's why the decision was made about CJ. I think you guys saw him out throwing today. I think he looked pretty fine to me.
Yeah, say it again. Before the question was asked, he looked directly back at me and started laughing. I'm telling you, I be laughing. Even in the press conferences where I sit, they'll ask D'Amico a question on one side of the room. He'll start answering it, and he'll look at me, and then I'll look at him, and I just be like, "Yeah, all right." I'll just say this: Coach and I have this funny type of relationship where we laugh a lot, and that's why I cannot wait until I'm able to have this one-on-one with him like I did last season. I can't wait till before training camp starts. I get that one-on-one with him so we can we can have a talk. But I love the fact on what he said, and especially about what he said about Nick Chubb as well when I asked about the injuries, and then what he said. And we're going to believe me. What's up, Larry? What's up, J Rock? Some people that came in here. What's up, Not Too Complicated? What's up, Brandon? What's up? They call me Mr. Nobody. I think I got everybody so far that's in here. All right, so look, we're going to jump into we're definitely going to get into CJ, and I'm going to pull up the video of CJ answering questions today, and I'm going to tell you all what I saw and what I witnessed out there at Texans mandatory minicamp today. But I want to address something right quick. What you mean, Top Cat? I don't get it. We're gonna have to discuss. Hit me up on in my DMs on Twitter, Big Star Sports with a Z at the end. But what's good, Top Cat? What's good, Damon? So look, let me say something right quick, right? So I said that I tweeted this out, and I said that we're gonna definitely have to have a conversation about the offensive line today, right? And then I wasn't the only one that tweeted it out. I won't say the names of the people who were actually at minicamp today too, that tweeted out pretty much the same thing that I said. I didn't say it verbatim, but pretty much said it the same way that I said it. And yet I'm the only one that got the backlash. The Sarge don't know what he's talking about. Sarge, you must be bored, or what can you observe? What are you observing in just shorts and shirts? Okay, so cool. You want to ask me that, but why you ain't asking these other people that? Who said the exact same thing? So how is my observation wrong? And y'all see I'm laughing because it's hilarious to me, because I'm not gonna stop. These people be talking about, Sarge, you need to stop. And you know what I always reply? Nope, not gonna do it. Because you're not gonna tell me you're not gonna tell me how to report. You're not gonna tell me not to report what I'm seeing. And you're not going to sway me from what I see. What I see is what I see. And like I said, I wasn't the only one that seen it. And so that was just funny to me that, and I think that sometimes that you have some people who get too comfortable. They get too comfortable, or they get too close to you. And then they just feel like they can talk to you any type of way, or they can come at you any type of way. And I'm cool with that. Everybody, look, I'm not going to give you the rules on how you approach me, how you feel like you should approach me, or you talk to me how you feel like you should talk to me. But just know that my response may not be the response that you want. But I guess my question is if I said that and you're coming at me, then why you didn't go to these other people who are saying the exact same thing and comment in their comments? Why is it, what's up, Senior Boble? Why is it that what I'm saying is wrong, but the other 4 or 5 people that are saying the same thing is right? I don't get it. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I tweeted out that we were going to have a talk about the offensive line. We were going to have a talk about the offensive line. And then people started commenting about me talking about the offensive line. And I said, okay, I'll just wait. And I'm going to talk about what I'm going to talk about, what I seen on the happy hour. And then I seen another one of my colleagues that had tweeted out the same thing. So I went in their comments. Hey, I don't see nothing. One dude quote tweeted me. Oh, sorry. I think he said, oh, this dude must be bored or something, because he quote tweeted my offensive line tape. So I said, cool, let me go in and look. Nothing. Now how they think that? How they telling me I'm wrong, but they ain't going over there and saying they wrong? Okay, cool, no problem. Oh well, wait, hold on. This dude is saying what me and the other guy said, and then this guy saying what this guy said, and what this guy said, and what I said, and so the narrative is out there. But why is it always that Sarge is wrong? I don't get it. But we ain't at the happy hour to have, well, you know what? Sometimes, you know what? I was talking to Case, which is CJ Stroud's personal barber. Now he cuts other players in Texans hair, but Case, I was talking to Case at Frank Ross's coaches cut event on Friday, right? And for those of y'all know, Case is prior military as well. And how he ended up in Houston was when CJ got drafted. CJ was like, hey, man, I know you're cutting these Cleveland Browns players' hair. I know you're cutting the hair of the Cleveland Cavaliers players. I know you're cutting the hair of the Ohio State players, but I need you to be with me. I need you to be my personal barber. So CJ moved him here. So Case is a really good dude. Case is prior military. That's how him and I bonded at one of CJ's CJ Foundation, one of his events. So Case is going to be on the happy hour. Him and I are already, working it out so he can come on the happy hour and just talk. And when I have him on the happy hour, it's going to be one of those things where, of course, we're going to talk football. We're going to talk about his relationship with CJ, but we're also going to just talk about, because I think June is Men's Mental Health Month, right? I think it is. And so, but even if it's not, we're going to talk about just the mental health aspect. And I prefaced all that to say that I told him, hey man, you, meaning a barber and a bartender, like y'all are topping your craft in what you're doing, but you also got a second job. Like you're a barber, but you're also a therapist, because everybody talk to their barber. My cousin is my barber, and I know. That's why I always tip him good, because I know he done just played therapist for me. And so when, a barber and a bartender, those guys are therapists. So I was about to say, hey, man, y'all didn't come to the happy hour for therapy, but I mean, sometimes when you go to the bar, you meet some people, you talk to some people, and you have some therapy, right? I digress. So this is what I seen, right? This is what I seen when I'm watching the offensive line, right? Now, don't get me wrong, because as I'm watching, there aren't too many offensive lines in this league that have tackles that can contain Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter. It's not. It's not a lot that can contain them. There's only one player on the Houston Texans offensive line that I've seen that's been able to hold his own. And he beat them sometimes, and they beat him sometimes. But he holds his own, and that's Titus. Titus is the only person that I've seen go up against Will, only person I've seen go up against Danielle and hold his own. They beat him on some plays. He beat them on some plays. But other than that, I don't know anybody else that's on the Texans offensive line that can stop those two, right? I don't. And like I said, it ain't too many. There's not too many offensive tackles in the league that can stop them, right? Right. So when I'm watching, I'm not looking at them trying to stop these guys. What I'm looking at is how they're reacting. How are they reacting? What are they doing? This is Blake Fisher's second year, right, with the team. He's playing tackle. Cam Robinson has been in the league for a while. Ariante, who's been getting some reps at left tackle, this is his first year in the league. He's a rookie. I don't expect a lot to go on like I will at training camp. In training camp, when they put on the pads at training camp, it's going to look different. I know that. I understand that. I have been covering this game long enough to know the difference in rookie minicamp, voluntary OTAs, mandatory minicamp, training camp, practice, and games. So when I say we have to talk about the offensive line, I'm not talking about from a game time, game speed perspective as far as blocking is concerned, as far as, kickbacks or I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just watching basic fundamentals. And in basic fundamentals, Will and Daniil just could not be stopped. Now, with that being said, right? With that being said, once again, they're not in pads. I understand that. But there was too many times. There's too many times that Will and Daniil are off the ball and the tackles haven't even come out of their stance. That's fundamentals. It has nothing to do with if you got pads on or not. That don't got nothing to do if you got full pads and a helmet and you're tackling. Nothing. Too many times I watch Will and Daniil off the break and the tackles haven't even moved yet. The one that I tweeted out that DJ Bieneme from ESPN also tweeted out, Will and Daniil got to CJ so fast that when they first turned the corner, they could have high-fived each other. But they were going at such a rate of speed that they ran into each other. They ran into each other to avoid hitting CJ. They were off the ball. It was almost like they knew the snap count. These guys haven't even came out of their stance yet. They haven't even gotten out of their stance. That's basic fundamentals. That's what I'm talking about. When I said last week that Tommy T was beating the hell out of Lakin Tomlinson, I'm talking about, bam, they get together, hand-to-hand combat, and he's just physically overpowering this guy. That ain't got nothing to do with pads. So when I'm talking about, we got to talk about the offensive line, especially in minicamp, which is what they're going to do tomorrow. That's what I'm talking about. The fundamentals. And I seen it. DJ seen it. Jonathan seen it. 2 or 3 other people seen it. We're all watching the same thing. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the physicality that's going to heighten once they put on the pads in training camp. I'm just talking about the basic fundamentals. And like I prefaced my statement by saying, there aren't going to be a lot of tackles who are going to be able to stop those two. But when the ball is snapped and you know the snap count, You got to be out of you got to come out of your stance and do something. Hey, what they say on Players Club, Larry? Hey, when they had the fight, hey, did you at least pinch the bill? And look, that's a second year. That's a second year. Blake Fisher. That's a rookie Ariante, right? That was over there at one point, but it was also a veteran in Cam Robinson. These guys have been playing the game long enough to know. These guys have been playing the game long enough to know. Hey, here we go. No, AD, Will and Daniil do not know the snap count. This is in 11 on 11. This is in team drills. This is in team drills where they huddle up. So that's what I'm saying, right? Hold on. Now, y'all know Sarge ain't finna tweet out everything. Sarge got notes. So what I put, one of the battles that I did like, one of the battles that I did like seeing was Ariante and Derek Barnett. And it was a good battle between the two of them. But the one thing that I liked about it was Derek Barnett, if he beat Ariante, he'd tell him exactly how he beat him. He was talking to him. See, it looks like, and I'm not for sure because I was trying to watch, but I couldn't tell if it was actually. It might look like he was talking to him like during the play, but he was out there trying to help his teammate. So that was one of the battles that I watched. Keontae Hamilton versus Ed Ingram. That was a good battle. They did have some good battles on the interior. I think that Sarah asked me about Titus, and Titus held his own. You could tell that Titus is still trying to get used to playing the right guard position. And so that's something that if they're going to stick him there, something that we've talked about here a lot. If they're going to keep him, if they're going to stick him there and keep him there, then I'm thinking by the time training camp, by the time training camp would have would start, that he should be, a little bit more acclimated by him getting some more offseason work in, and then we'll see by the time the second preseason game comes around. And so that first team, why do I have 274s? That first team was Cam Robinson was at left tackle. Cam Robinson was at left tackle. Laken Tomlinson was at left guard. Jake Andrews was at center. Then you had Titus at right guard, and then you had Blake Fisher at right tackle. And so that's just some of the things that I want to talk about when it came to the offensive line. We're going to get into so we'll talk about some other things here. As I am on the time, I think I have to be on that show at 7, so I know I got to be out of here by no later than 6:30. But we will jump into CJ in just a second. I want to spend the majority of the time talking about CJ, but I want to talk about, when I said that we have to talk about the offensive line, that's what I meant. That's what I meant, that, a lot of these guys are, they're going to have to they're going to have to put in some work in the off season to build some type of camaraderie with each other. They definitely need to get together and build some type of camaraderie with each other. And if you're going to play Cam Robinson at the left tackle and you're going to play Blake Fisher at the right tackle, you have to tell them, hey, listen, Will and Daniil they're not going to slow down. They're not going to slow down. And the majority of the time, especially through training camp, that's who you're going to be going against. Last year, I'm not going to even lie. Last year, Daniil baptized by fire Blake Fisher. As you remember now, Laramie didn't practice for the majority of training camp because he was coming off of I think he had like a minor surgery to deal with the injury that he had. So you had Blake Fisher playing a lot of left tackle, and Daniil didn't take it easy on him. Daniil did not take it easy on him. And so now you move from trying to stop Daniil to trying to stop Will, who has added so much more to his package, so much more to his package and his array of moves. And yeah, no, we're not in training camp yet, so we're not going to see the everything just yet. And then, like you said, once they put the pads on, things will change. Uh, what's up, B Scott? But things will change once they put the pads on. But I'm watching Will work on these different types of moves. I think that was it last week when Matt Burke was talking and we asked about Will, and he said Will pulled out a package that I had never even seen before. I mean, not a package. He said Will pulled out a move. He said Will put out a pass rushing move, and that's when I think I don't know if you all remember, but I tweeted this out when Will was going to the sideline. He kept screaming out, "Don't effing play with me! Stop effing playing with me! Y'all better stop playing with me!" And so, going up against him, so those two guys and Ariante, they're gonna have to they're gonna have to work, and it's good. So, and like I said, we're gonna get into CJ in just a second. Oh wait, hold on. Rich Boy and Brandon. It's Rich Boy, right? Okay, Rich Boy and Brandon. Hey, so let me tell y'all real quickly. Side note. Hey, I said start at the end of 2024. I said going into 2025, I'm not gonna say pause. I'm not gonna say hey yo. I'm not gonna say no Diddy. I'm not gonna say none of that stuff because man, I'm 53 years old. I'm 53 going on 54. I'm not gonna yeah, I'm gonna talk how I want to talk, man. I'm gonna say what I want to say, man. And all that stuff actually started on the East Coast. I'm from the South, man. I'm from the South. I'm from Texas. Hey, is that my wife? I missed your text, didn't I? Sorry. Okay, be safe. But no, I don't. I'm not doing the pause thing anymore. I'm not. I ain't saying pause. I ain't saying hey yo. I'm just gonna talk. I can't do it. I like that's a lot of work to have to think about, formulate what I'm on to say without saying pause and all that other stuff. Man, hold up. But um, but getting back to what I was talking about real quick. I was talking to one of the PR guys today, and maybe y'all can drop this in the comment as we move on and talk about CJ in just a second. But I was talking to one of the PR guys today, and him and I were trying to figure out. And I said I'm going to do the research, and I'm gonna text him once I figure it out. What defense in the AFC? Uh, what defense in the AFC is better than the Houston Texans? Like if you had to rank, because I think that the Texans have the best defense in the AFC. But then again, I haven't studied all of the defenses. I'm just going by what I see and what I'm watching. So if y'all know, if y'all could think of another defense that you think might be better in the AFC than the Houston Texans, hey, drop that in the comments so we can talk about it. All right. So hey, I got to do this. Y'all know how we do this. Before I get into everything else, I gotta okay. First time I seen a coach not allow a healthy quarterback to throw. Ain't the first time I seen it, but I got it. And it was voluntary OTAs. He threw in mandatory minicamp. I watched it with my own eyes. I seen it. Uh, why didn't D'Amico tell people that things that never happened happen? Never happened because they never happened. uh, what's up, Senior Boblé? What's up, AD? What's up, J Mac? Uh, Lou, what's going down? You say you can explain. Explain what, AD? I don't even know. What's up, AL Evans? That boy CJ is fine. Everybody needs to stop tripping for real. For sure. For sure, my name for this happy hour is 1800 Boblé. 1800. All right. That's the financial. Oh man. Yeah, we want the real explanation, AD. We do. Queen says last year all the local media came back reporting defense won the day consistently. Yeah, and they did. And what happened? Defense won the season. So the offense ain't winning at camp. Then that's how the season goes. Hey, last year, I ain't gonna lie. Like the defense didn't win every day, but they won the majority of the days. That listen, let me tell y'all something about this defense, right? Real quickly. Let me tell you, let me tell you something about these defenses. I mean about this Texans defense. They got a bunch of dogs. They have a bunch of dogs. When I say dogs, I mean like dogs. They got a bunch of players on that defense. I'm talking about starters and backups. That when you're playing for a coach that you know got your back, and the only thing that he requires and he asks of you is to go out there and give it your all. Whether you make the best play ever or you make the worst mistake ever, it don't matter. Did you do it with effort? See, when we think about swarm, right? When we think about when we think about that acronym swarm, and when everybody, talks about swarm, 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 and it's been broken down on numerous occasions, it's been broken down a lot. But what that actually means to D'Amico is, are you giving it your all? That's basically it. Hey man, are you on every play? Are you giving it your all? Are you going 100 on every play? Did you go 100 when you missed the tackle? Did you go 100 when you caused the fumble? Did you go 100 in this run block? Did you did you get beat in this pass block? But you still went 100. That's what he means. And so when you look at this defense, that defense has that mentality. And I'm going to tell you, it starts with Aziz. It starts with Aziz, and then it just radiates. It just radiates. What I mean by it just radiates, because Aziz being the middle linebacker, it starts with him, and he got the mentality. Then Daniil got the mentality, and then Tim Settle Jr. got the mentality. Then when Foley Fatukasi come in the game, he got the mentality. And you got Will who got the mentality, and then you got Derek Stingley Jr. who got the mentality. You got Kamari Lassiter who got got that mentality. You got Kalen Bullock who got the mentality. You got CJ Gardner Johnson who got that mentality. And when they all, Henry Toa got that mentality. Christian Harris, when he's in the game, got that mentality. So when they're all on one accord, they're very hard to be beat by any offense. You can say what you want to say. Last year, the only team that I seen really just beat the Houston Texans was the Baltimore Ravens. And I can't say that was because of the schedule. I can't say that was because of attrition, because the Baltimore Ravens had played the same schedule in the same time frame as well. But that's that mentality. They are all they so much on one accord. Aziz is now doing the Kamar Lassiter celebration when he makes a big play. I seen that today. I said, oh, okay. All right. Oh, I can't forget Jalen Petrie got that as well. So yeah. Yep, Will and Daniil is a problem for any O-line in the league. Our defense is down pat, get the run speed pat. Yep. I saw Titus on the ground in a video last week, and no one mentioned that. Just that Lakin Tomlinson got beat. Hey, but Lakin Tomlinson is a guard, right? Though, Sarah? Like his natural position is a guard. Titus' natural position is left tackle. I mean, right tackle. He's a tackle. Can Popovich get them into position and install some level of discipline and technique necessary? Yes. Yes, J Rock. Yes. I'm gonna go on record by saying that. Yes. Here's what I would tell you, Sarge, which I know I don't need to. People have a right to critique and critiques, and you have a right to not give a shit. we all exactly. We all just talking sports. We all just talking sports. Yeah, Brandon was out there. He was out there today. Oh, the Broncos. Hey, the Broncos do. The Jets got, yeah. Okay. Rich boy say, yeah. Hey, yeah, the Broncos. Yeah, the Broncos. Sheesh, yeah, Sarah. The Broncos do got a hell of a defense. Jesus. They do have a heck of a defense. I was just talking about in the AFC. Just in the AFC. My bad. I see what y'all talking about. Oh yeah. So I see what you're talking about. Y'all talking about, and the Vikings beat the heck out of the Texans, right? Okay, here goes the take that a lot of people may not like. Right? Here goes the take that a lot of people may not like. Yes, the Texans did lose to the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, the Minnesota Vikings had a very good team. But there was a plethora of mistakes made by the Houston Texans that I felt gave the Minnesota Vikings so many advantages in short field situations, between the turnovers, between the penalties. I mean, it just seemed like the Houston Texans could never find a rhythm. So I don't want to take anything away from the Minnesota Vikings, because the Vikings had a damn good team. And I'm not saying that the Vikings wouldn't have beat the Texans on that Sunday. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that if the Texans don't make the mistakes that they made, that they still, that they win the game and they don't lose. But the Houston Texans made so many mistakes in that game that you're putting the offense put the defense on their heels a lot, and put them on their heels a lot early. So yeah, I definitely understand. I'm glad you asked. Give me 1 second, Queen, and we're gonna talk about it. What's up, Sarge? Have you heard whether or not if Tunsil was at training camp? No, but I will reach out to somebody. I definitely know 2 people who cover the Washington Commanders, so I will. Yep. What you got, J Rock? What's up, Texas Tangent? All right, so let's get to the big story of the day, though. All right, let's get to the big story of the day. First, let me say this. Shout out to our sponsor, Hall Family Estates Wine Company. Thank you for sponsoring this Texans Happy Hour. Make sure you go to www.hallfamilyestates.com. It's right down there at the bottom. Tell them Sarge sent you. Tell them that you came over. You heard about the Hall Family Estates. Very good wine. You heard about it on the Texans Happy Hour, and I'm pretty sure he ain't give me no discount code, but say, hey, Sarge told me to hit you up. I support him and support the Happy Hour, and I'm pretty sure he'll give you a discount. I'm pretty sure that he'll give you a discount. I'm gonna see if I can't buy a couple of bottles to give away myself to you all. But yeah, so make sure you're following the Hall Family Estates on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. That's our sponsor for the Texas Happy Hour. Now let's go ahead and get down to business. One thing that I like about you all, hold on, let me write this down. One thing that I like about you all, the one thing that I like about you all is good, bad, indifferent. Agree with my takes, disagree with my takes, no matter what. You still here, you still support me, and you still listen to some of the things that I have to say, right? And so there were a lot of people that hit me up when CJ, when they seen the when they seen the post and the video of CJ Stroud throwing a mandatory minicamp on Tuesday. There were a lot of people that hit me up telling me, Sarge, you were right. And I was like, yeah. And so for me, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I tell you all this all the time. It ain't so much as me trying to be right. It's just me trying to get you all the best and the most accurate information that I can. I'll tell you when it's an opinion, and then we can go back and forth about the opinion. But when we're talking about when we're talking about um facts, and when I'm your eyes and your ears to make sure that I give you everything. And like that's what I was trying to say earlier about the offensive line stuff too. I'm not just here to, I'm here to tell you, hey man, this is what I'm seeing, because you all don't have that access out there, not yet, not until training camp. And so I was getting hit up a lot, and I was like, I told you all to relax. I told people, hey, relax. CJ isn't hurt. CJ isn't injured. CJ is genuinely hurt. I knew that for a fact. That's why I told you all that. I knew exactly how and why CJ was sore. I knew exactly why. I got that confirmed. It was confirmed. So that's why I was saying, hey man, y'all might want to just, and then I told you all that. And then Aaron Wilson came back and reported the same thing. Hey, CJ was just working out, blase this, blase that. And so that's why I kept harping on, hey man, just relax. Hey, just relax. CJ is going to look, even if CJ didn't throw, 'cause I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know CJ was throwing this week. I'm not gonna lie to you and say, oh, I knew CJ was throwing today. I didn't know. There was a lot of people who did not know. The only people that knew was just like what D'Amico said earlier. His coach knew that he was going to throw. So I had no clue that he was going to throw. But when he threw, I'm just out there like, all right. And then we're gonna hop into to CJ's press conference real quick. And I put out something early on social media when CJ was like, basically said, yeah, I was throwing, but I just wasn't, y'all didn't get a chance to see me. I said that exact same thing. Remember, I said, hey, what if CJ is throwing? Just the media isn't allowed to see it. What if on those off days when the media isn't around, CJ is out there throwing? That's exactly what I said. Hey man, you ever thought about this? You ever thought about CJ could be throwing? So here we go. Let's hop into some of the stuff CJ had to say today.
Very grateful to be back out on the field. I'm a little rusty, made some throws, missed some throws, but just very grateful to be out there with the guys and have a time to compete before we go a couple days away until camp. So I'm very excited to be back, but just iron sharpen iron. Trying to talk a little smack, but it was great.
CJ, how much of the general soreness was due to your off-season workout program?
A little bit, just I took this offseason very serious on just working hard, trying to get my body right. So I was here like pretty early with Clint, our strength guy. So I've been working really hard on getting my body right, losing body fat, trying to be faster, stronger. And it really went really well, but there's always risk and reward, so there's always risk to working hard. So, it was a great off season. I think I got that done, but also, I wouldn't say that was the reason why. Just a lot of everything, so.
Besides, they want to make sure they were taking care of you. That was the priority. How much do you appreciate that the organization's not, okay, we've got to have this practice, you're sore, go through it, that they wanted you to get right before they put you back out there?
Yeah, I'm very, grateful for how they approach the process. I wanted to approach it that way as well. I didn't want to force anything, but also they were listening and trying their best to, accommodate me and what I needed. Our training staff did amazing. I've been working with them every day, sun up, sun down. So just trying to fight to get back to practice. I've been, feeling to come back, but, in due time. And now, I see, I'm able to throw it how I want, wherever I can, and have some accuracy also. So, I'm very grateful that they approach it that way, but, I'm happy to be back.
Throwing program through the rest of the offseason? Any setbacks?
Yeah, I mean, I was already throwing, before you guys see me out there pretty normally. I think y'all don't have much to talk about, so y'all just everything is blown up in all season. So I'm fine, man. I'm really okay.
We're gonna continue that in just a second. We're definitely gonna continue that in just a second. But did you hear the things that he said? Did you hear the things that he said? Did you hear what came out of his mouth? Did you hear what he said about throwing? You guys just didn't get a chance to see it. I was throwing normal. You guys just didn't get a chance to see it. That's what he said. Hey, I'm working. I've been working. I got here early. What he means by he got here early, meaning that he got to the facility, the training. He got to NRG earlier than they were supposed to report, and he put in the work. And, as we go on, we're going to hear him talking about him, reaching his, breaking a lot of personal records, by working out, beating a lot of his personal records, as he's ramping up, getting ready for training camp. And so if you've ever, if you've ever worked out and then you stop working out and then you start working out again, but then you hop back in and then you say, okay, so I'm going to do more. I need to get back to working out. I need to do this, that, and the other. And then as you increase, let's just say on you're benching, right? And so, you used to could bench 205, but you want to reach 225, right? But that it's been a couple of, it's been a couple of months since the last time you worked out, or a couple of weeks. So you go in there and you try to ramp yourself back up. But as you're increasing that weight and your body isn't used to that type of weight, you may not feel it that same day, but that next day, you're going to feel it. I'm going to say this, personally, like I'm not a runner. I've never been like a runner. The only running that I would like to do is in short form, like basketball, football. I didn't even run track. Basketball, football. When I got into the military, they were like, hey, you got to run. And I was like, what do you mean run? I like run long distance. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. What type of long distance? Oh yeah, we're running 5 to 7 miles 3 days a week, because you got to pass a PT test and you got to run 2 miles in under this certain time. But we run about 5 to 7 miles per day. Not per day, 3 times a week. So yeah, and I'm saying to myself, I can't even think of the last time I ran a mile. But I knew I had to get myself together. So when I started doing that, I was sore as I don't know what. My legs was hurting. Appreciate that, J-Rock. My legs was hurting. But by the same token, you got to push through the soreness. And once you push through the soreness, it'll be better. So I preface that to say this, that, that's exactly how I feel what CJ Stroud did. CJ Stroud, wanted to get better. He changed up his workout regimen. And that workout regimen probably caused him to be sore, probably caused his, his upper body and including his shoulder to be just a little bit be tight. And so maybe it was sore. So maybe, him taking these couple of weeks, in OTAs and now in minicamp to get his arm back together, maybe, it was sore, and it was sore from working out, which is what we all discussed. But CJ saying that, it was just the off season. People just needed something to talk about. Let's hop back into it.
Yeah, as you see, Hig today looked great. Jay No came in really fired up. Some guys on defense, doing really well. So, all the young guys, are doing a great job, asking questions. I always try to be there for them, just because I was a rookie 2 years ago. I understand how hard it is, how much time, how much effort you have to put in. So, I try to be a leading hand for them. And I thought they've done a great job, though. I think Luke has done a great job, Woody, and they're all doing really well. So, proud of them.
CJ, what excites you the most about what Nick Chubb could bring, if healthy, to his backfield?
Yeah, just, he's a great player. I met him today for the first time, and I told him, man, I've been respecting his game since he was in college, and, I think he's a great back, and I think he'll do some great things for us, and I'm excited to have him as a teammate. So, I actually didn't recognize him when I walked in. He's very quiet, so it was I was like, dang, what's up, Nick? I kind of got nervous because he been a baller since I've been a kid. So, but I'm very excited to have him.
Early in the year, and what do you hope that they do or add to your game?
As in?
You said you came in early to try to, lose some body fat.
Oh, okay.
What were some of the results of that?
Yeah.
And what do you hope it adds to your game?
Yeah, the goal was just to be bigger, faster, stronger, like every off season, but be more intentional about it. So have more fluidity in my hips, lose a couple pounds, run faster, and I got all those done. I think I PR'd on almost everything this off season, which has been really dope. So, shout out to Mike Clint. Clint's been with me every day, and he does a lot of. He had a track background, but is bought in and done a lot of things with us as quarterbacks. So I'm very, very grateful that we got these things done. But now it's ball time, and this off season will be very important on getting back with my throwing regimen and with my guys in LA. So I got those things done, and I'm grateful for it.
So does that translate onto the field? Talk about having more fluidity in your hips. Is that to throw the ball further, or do you want to be faster, to get out of the pocket faster, move around? Or just how does that translate more into the game?
Just everything, yeah. Pocket, mobility, running out the pocket, throwing the rock. Everything kind of works hand in hand. So a little bit of everything.
But what excites you the most about this Nick Caley's offense?
Him as a person. I think for me, like, I buy into people. I really don't buy into system. I kind of have that thing about life. It's the people and the relationships that kind of take things and make it rocket ship to the stars. So just him as a person, man, he has probably the most juice I've ever seen in my life, just naturally. I'm a very laid back, chill guy, except for when I'm in between the lines. But he's 6 a.m, he's up, he's at it. So that kind of gets me motivated. And just how he buys into his players, and he calls me a lot. I don't always answer because he always yelling and stuff. But I appreciate it though, and it's it's been great. He's implementing a lot of things he's done in the past, which is important as well. The system is important, and he's doing a great job. As you guys have seen, we've been able to have a pretty good OTA off-season program. From what you guys can see, and even things that y'all can't see, building that foundation so we can rocket ship once we snap that ball, against LA. So, I love Nick, and he's doing a great job.
Stop right there. So look, and you can look at. Hey, listen, they got the rest of the video on the rest of the videos on YouTube on the Houston Texans channel. And I stopped it right there because y'all heard CJ. we reported on it. You've seen your timelines flooded with, CJ Stroud's throwing today, CJ Stroud's throwing today. And the last question that CJ just answered was the question that I asked him about Nick Caley's offense. And you could just hear how excited he was about Nick Caley. Cool. He goes on to talk about Nick Caley being in New England. He talks about Nick Caley in LA and, working with the different quarterbacks and the coaches or whatever the case may be. Like I said, you can, go and watch that. Now let's get down to what I seen today. Hey, look, let me tell you all something. There's a difference in, just you ever like CJ. I'm not gonna even lie. Sometimes CJ makes hard things just look regular. Now, there was some rust out there. Don't get me wrong. CJ was kind of rusty, but on some of those plays, CJ made hard plays look easy. You all have been seeing the clip that's been going around with the one-handed catch of Jaden Higgins. Go back, watch that play, and watch where CJ places the ball. That is not an easy throw. That is not an easy throw to make. CJ threaded the needle. Christian Kirk ran a beautiful route. And by the time Christian Kirk came out of his route, the ball was already coming, right? The ball was already coming his way because CJ had already anticipated and knew exactly what Kirk was going to do. So he had already released the ball. And I think because they still need to work on connecting with each other. I don't think that he thought that it was going to. Hey, Patton, I'm coming in a second. I don't think that Christian Kirk thought that the ball was going to be there because he ain't used to really being with CJ, and the ball got on his body so quick that he dropped the ball. Like he turned, came out the route, and the ball was right there. Bam, and he dropped it. But the way that CJ placed it, like if CJ wouldn't have thrown the ball when he threw it, it would have been an interception. It definitely would have been an interception. Now, there's some plays. Nico broke off the line, got in between the cornerback and the safety, came across, was wide open. CJ overthrew him. CJ threw the ball too high. He couldn't get it. There was another play where CJ had a wide receiver open, but instead of trying to make the throw, he just dumped it down. And I was like, yeah, I think CJ could make that throw, but maybe he thought that he couldn't make that throw. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that CJ Stroud is in mid-season form already, but even just his ramping up makes it look, he made it look good. He made it look really, really good today. I really want to see what him and Higgins and Christian Kirk are going to be able to do together. But like I said, CJ was rusty, but then again, CJ was out there and he didn't look like anything was wrong with him. And so now a lot of these people can calm down and the sky isn't falling. And now I'm pretty sure that the narrative is going to switch from, why CJ wasn't throwing to, well, why did they wait so late to let him throw? There's always going to be something. The sky is always going to be falling. I'm going to tell you that right now. But let me hop into some more of these notes. I have an exclusive interview coming out with Kalen Bullock that I'm going to upload to the Texans Tailgate Talk YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe. But I did a one-on-one with Kalen, got some very good information about going into year 2. We talked about, of course, him and Kamari, but the things that Derek Stingley has said about him. We talked about the USC Texans. We talked about Woody Marks. We talked about Jalen Smith. We just talked about him as a whole. And then you make sure, because at the end of it, so, okay, I'm going to tell y'all got to stay to the end because you got to hear what he says. So before Coach came to the podium, we were inside the bubble. So Coach comes through the door, and as he comes through the door, grabs him a Gatorade. Sitting to his left, Kalen and Kamari are sitting right next to each other, right? And so Kalen looks at coach. Coach looks at him and says, I told you it was going to happen, didn't I? I told you it didn't I tell you it was going to happen? And Kalen said, you said it. Kamari said, he told you to play before what was about to happen, right? Mind you now, coach ain't no coach D'Amico ain't nowhere near, like he's by the offense, but he ain't by the offense, right? So, and what he was talking about was Kalen dropped the interception. And the break that he made on the ball, he made the break, and I think the ball hit his hands and then he dropped it. But one of the reasons why he was in position to do that was because D'Amico had told him the play prior, hey, if this happens, then this is what's going to happen. And so you can see him, you can see Kamari, and I'm talking about D'Amico, Kamari, and Kalen all talking about that, laughing. So at the end of the video, you'll hear me ask him about him and coach talking about it, and then you'll hear why he dropped the interception. Couple of other notes. Stroud had a very good pass that he threaded the needle to Xavier Hutchinson. EJ Speed continues to impress me, and he impresses me a lot. EJ Speed impresses me a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I know it's just shorts and helmet, but he impresses me a lot. And then CJ Garner-Johnson was on the field today, but he was mostly running with like the back end of the second team and a lot of the third teams. And I think they just had him on the field just to get him acclimated to learning the defensive plays and the defensive calls. I got a video that I need to put out, but that's just part of my notes. I talked about EJ Speed and talked about CJ Garner, but CJ looked good today. CJ Stroud looked good today. I'm glad CJ got a chance to throw. We'll have an opportunity to speak with Nick Chubb on Wednesday. Before I go, I tweeted out today that I seen a play that Nick Caley ran, Nick Caley called, that made me go, damn. Like that was like, because it was double tights with K Stover, and it was K Stover in there, and it was Dalton Schultz in the but both of them were in the lineup together. Now, the past 2 years, I mean not past 2 years, but last year, I seen a lot of formations with K Stover in the game and Dalton Schultz in the game, and most of the time when you seen both of them in the game, it was for them to block, or it was either for him to block, it was either for Stover to block, and Dalton Schultz would, run the route, or they were in the game for both of them to block. You never really seen any innovative type of things where you was getting both of them out into the route. All I'm going to say is this. When I looked at that play, and when they ran that play, I was like, okay. And the funny part about it was they had K Stover on the right side, and they had Dalton Schultz on the left side. And then they put Dalton in motion. And when they put Dalton in motion, by the time he reached Cade, the ball was being snapped. And so when he's coming out, he's coming out, and the ball is being snapped. And once the ball is snapped, I'm not Brandon. Once the ball is being snapped, the route concept from Dalton and the route concept that Cade ran, I said, Oh, well, that's different. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be that way, especially coming from, Nick Caley's background as a tight ends coach. But that wasn't regular tight end. Those weren't regular tight end routes that they ran. I'm going to be honest with you. At least let me say it like this. The end result, it may have looked like they were about to run regular routes, but the way that they ran the routes, I said, oh, that's interesting. That's why I tweeted out, I'm not going to tell the play, but that was interesting. So I'm really interested in seeing what Nick Caley's offense is going to look like once we get into training camp and once they start doing the majority of the installs. Jalen Noel didn't practice today. Hold on for a second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Okay, yeah. Jalen didn't practice today. There was a Sheldon Rankins sighting. Seen him out there. But he didn't he didn't practice today. The Nico Autry didn't practice today. They were on the backfield working out. Christian Harris was on the backfield working out. Braxton Berrios was on the backfield working out. And so I don't know. Christian, I didn't see Jalen practicing the last OTA that we were allowed to be at last week either. And so I don't know if there's just a little nagging injury going on with him. So what you're saying, Sarge, is the season's not over already? Not yet. Not yet. One more thing before I go, y'all. I've got to get to this. Hold on.
Talk about your relationship with
control, and I think we'll do that. We're working on that now. So off season, and they've done a great job of getting passionate, and those things are bound to happen. It's not about it.
Just too much. Is that something that you want under this new system? How much you can control? Do you want more of that at the offense? How much is too much? Is that something that you want under this new system?
Yeah, that'll be between me and Kels, and that was something that I did want, and I'm gotten that now. So, but that takes ownership. We've been able to watch a lot of Brady, and there was clips back in like 2003 or 4 when him and Josh McDaniels, first started, and so like it took him time to master it. So it'll take time for me to master it fully, but I am buying into it and trying my best to be as great as I can at it. So, it's something that I wanted and I'm getting. That it's about connection, chemistry on the field. Excuse me. And I think that stuff would take care of itself. We don't got to worry about the playoffs right now. You got to get there first, and that's about building calluses and foundation right now. So, but those guys have brought that tenacity and that mindset, knowing that the work you put in now will show up back then. So, but our goal is, to build a foundation, OTAs, vet minicamp now, and in this off-season program. It's 40 days away, and to take off at training camp and make sure that we're rolling. All right, y'all. Thank you. I am buying into it and
want under this new system
to be.
In the past, does that help you when stuff like this comes up? And how is this one in relation to some of the past issues you had with the show?
Yeah, I mean, it teaches you not to panic. It's part of the game. Just like how pitchers, they take relief weeks and nights off. The same thing for all throwing athletes. You just got to be precautionary, and those things are bound to happen. It's not about if, it's about when, and you're just doing the right things to come back. So I never thought too much of it. It's not that big of it, and I did not get surgery or anything like that. I was fine. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm not. It's not as bad as people are making it seem.
That's how I want to get out there. That's how I wanted to end this show. You heard what he said, right? I did not have shoulder surgery. I did not have shoulder surgery. It's not as bad as people were making it seem. See, that's why y'all got to listen to Big Sarge. That's why you got to subscribe to the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube page, all one word. That's why you got to come to the Texans Tailgate Talk Live. That's why you got to go to Texans Happy Hour, sponsored by the Hall Family Estates. But this is why you come here, and this is why I get so passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about what I do because I ain't gonna never come here. Let me tell y'all something, man. Those for what's up, HD Travel? What's going on? So for the and I got to get up out here. I'm about, hey, y'all make sure that y'all are on Texas on 3 podcast. I'm about to be ready. I'm about to be on there in about 10 minutes. But let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all why I'm so passionate about this stuff. And what I mean by this stuff. Let me tell you why I'm so passionate about this. Doing what I do. Cause I put it like this. I was once on the other side, right? I was once on the other side, not part of the media, period, right? I wasn't part of the media, period. So I had to depend on people who were in attendance in the building at the place. They had to be the eyes and the ears for me, right? I know I'm gonna get a lot of criticism about what I'm about to say, but I'm cool with that. Like I'm okay with it. Believe me, I'm okay with it. But I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I don't cover the Dallas Cowboys. So as a fan, I gotta wait for everybody who covers the Dallas Cowboys to tell me what's going on. Now I can reach out to a couple of people that are inside the building because of the connections that I've made as far as being media. For the most part, if I want to know what's going on with Micah Parsons, if I want to know what's going on with CD Lamb, if I want to know what's going on with George Pickens, if I want to know what's going on with DeMario Overshown, I gotta depend on other people, right? And so I know that I'm depending on other people and I'm listening to what they're saying and I'm taking their word as okay, so this is how it is, this and another. So one of the reasons why one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this, and one of the reasons why I give my all in, because I don't want nobody to bullshit me, so I'm not gonna bullshit you. I don't listen. Don't excuse my language, hand over heart, but don't bullshit me. Either you know it or you don't know it. That's cool. Okay, I'm cool with that. Either you know it or you don't know it. And then if you want to have a conversation involving our opinions, I am fine with having a conversation about opinions. Just don't BS me. I can't keep cussing y'all because I've become a better Christian this year, and that's why I can't keep cussing. But don't BS me. Don't BS me. I don't. So that's why when I'm covering the Rockets, that's why when I'm covering the Texans, and when I come on and anytime that I tweet something, I ain't trying to BS you. Anytime I cut on this microphone, cut on this camera, and I talk with you all and you talk back to me, I'm not BSing you because I wouldn't want nobody to BS me. So I'm not trying to, I don't do that's people. This is why I don't, I'm not here for clickbait. I don't get paid by the click. I don't get paid by the click. I don't get paid by the like. I don't get paid by the retweet. I don't get paid by the view. I don't get paid like that. I don't. So with that being said, I don't have to come on here and, try to, what do I always say? Those who can't create content creates confusion. I can create content. You're going to see that after Wednesday, once minicamp is done and they got that long period of time before training camp starts, I want you all to pay attention to who's creating content and who's creating confusion. I'm going to give y'all content probably 2 times a day, except for when I'm on a vacation with my wife. And even then, I may just dig in my duffel bag and drop something to you all. But I ain't trying to BS you because I don't want to be BS'd. And so I take this thing. That's why I'm so passionate about it. That's why I work so hard at it. And that's why I try to be and do everything that I can, because I want to be able to give it back to you all like I want it received. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if that makes sense or not. I want you all. I treat you all how I would want to be treated if the roles was reversed. If you all were Big Sarge and I was the Texans fans, and you all had the access, and you all talked to the players, and you all talked to the coaches, and you all talked to the owners, I would want you to report it or tell it to me like I tell it to y'all. And then I don't give a damn. We can have fun about. And listen, I seen AD was in here. Him and I had a friendly back and forth. Y'all know I'm not finna let none of this sports stuff cause confusion and chaos between me and the person that I have respect for. I ain't got nothing but the utmost respect for AD. And so him and I just disagreed on some things. And that's cool. I love it. Him and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. That ain't got nothing to do with us, though. Right? They ain't got nothing to do with us. His opinion is his opinion. My opinion is my opinion. And then we just keep it moving. But I'm the one that has the credential. I'm the one that has the access. And if I have that, then it does me no good. It ain't gonna do. Listen, let me tell you something. It don't do me no good to go to Jalen Petrie's football camp, where the Petrie Boys Foundation football camp, and talk to Jalen Petrie and talk to Ladarius Henderson, and then just be like, I'm good. Oh man, me and Ladarius had a great conversation. What? What about the people who couldn't be there that want to know what Ladarius has to say? Hey man, I watched Kamari Lassiter make a hell of a play on Jerry Wayne, and then I watched CJ Stroud throw a perfect touchdown over Kamari Lassiter to Justin Watson. Like, that's the type of stuff y'all need to see. Y'all not out there. Y'all don't know. Kamari Lassiter made a great play, and then Kamari Lassiter got beat. It happens. So that's all I'm saying, man. I got to get ready to get up out of here. I appreciate this. So I don't get a chance to watch SNL. Is that Cody and Landry Locker? That they do SNL? I don't get an opportunity to watch a lot of people's content because I'm too busy trying to make sure that I can create my own and make sure that I give you all the best. And so I don't know if that's them or not. I don't know. I know they have a show. I just don't know the name of it because I don't watch it like that. So, and that's no shot at those guys. I have so much other stuff going on. Like, side note, like later on this week, I got an exclusive one-on-one interview that I got to put out on the Rockets Wire from conversation with our man Thompson from Los Angeles. That's a story for another time. Oh, they're gonna kill me. I got 2 minutes. Hey, thank y'all for watching the Texans Happy Hour. Hey, we may do a morning show, so y'all turn them freaking alerts on. Turn them alerts on, and we're gonna do us a morning show maybe tomorrow before I head back out to Texans Minicamp, and we get an opportunity to see Nick Chubb and talk with Nick Chubb on Wednesday. You've been tuning in to Texans Happy Hour, sponsored by the Hall Family Estates Wine Company. Make sure you're following me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you are subscribed to the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast, available wherever you get your podcast from, and the Texans Tailgate Talk, all one word, YouTube channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end, because we do everything for the gram. And hey, pretty sure I'm gonna see you all on Wednesday morning. Today is Tuesday, right? I think so. Big Sarge, I'm out.
Big Sarge.